Yeah.
What time?
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. So, what is this great mystery? The mystery is called Shemini Atzeret. What is it? Is it part of Sukkot? Is it its own holiday? Is it a transition? Believe it or not, the rabbis disagree on what it is. In the Torah, Shemini Atzeret is exactly what it says, the 8th day of assembly. Now, some people say that they use the word Atzeret, comes from the word Atzer, which means to stop. It also means to take a break. And the common interpretation of what Shemini Atzeret is this. So on Sukkot, we have 7 or 8 days. I haven't figured it out, and we'll talk about that in a second, just how many days Sukkot is. But all total, there are sacrifices on each day of those Sukkot. And while the goats and the birds and the grain is pretty much all the same, they start out with like 13 bulls. Next day it's 12 and 11. When you add it all up, it's 70 bulls. That's a lot of bulls. Bull's a big animal. It's very expensive, so that's a lot of bulls. Why 70 bulls? One bull for each of the nations, each of the ancient nations that inhabited the earth with the Israelites. So in a sense, God is saying, this isn't just for you, Israel. This is for everybody. But you know what? When everybody's done with the party and everybody's done observing and having their sacrifices, why don't you hang back with me for a minute? Just you and me, Israel. We'll just stay together. That's Shemini Atzeret. Now, in the Torah, it says that Shemini Atzeret is 7 days. Being out in the diaspora, the rabbis added an extra day, and they did it with, the main day. The first day in Israel is Sukkot. In the diaspora, we also have a second day. So, where's the extra day in the diaspora? We had last Shabbat was first day of Sukkot, right? And Sunday was the second. Then we had the Chol Hamoed, the intermediate days, which is kind of like a half holiday, which was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday. Well, there's your 7 days, okay? Where is the 8th day for the diaspora? So a lot of sages don't know whether to say that Shemini Atzeret is that extra day or not. Now in Israel, Shemini Atzeret is the same day as Simchat Torah. Simchat Torah is not a biblically mandated holiday or a festival. In fact, there was no conception in the Torah to do what we do today, which is read the Torah one portion a week, including the special portions, when in this case we have holidays that fall on Shabbat and we read those instead, right? Rather, they would all get together at the end of Sukkot, and in the 7th year, they would sit down and they would read most of Deuteronomy. That was also the time when debts were relieved and everything, but we're going to talk a little bit about that tomorrow, and when we read the portion of So, is it part of
Credit
Sukkot
Control
or
LLC.
is it not?
How may I help you?
See? So,
I'm sorry?
we don't know. Now, Shemini Atzeret is that day when during the 7th year, which is the sabbatical year, we release the debts, okay? But we don't eat it. We can eat in the Sukkot, but we don't take the species. We don't necessarily take down the Sukkot on Shemini Atzeret, but it's just kind of there, and you don't have to break it. So it's just an 8th day of assembly. It's an interesting day. Also, interestingly enough, it's another time when we recite Yizkor, that memorial prayer.
Hello.
And why do we recite Yizkor on Shemini Atzeret?
Yes.
If you look at when we recite Yizkor, okay, the first time we do it, let's look at it this way, is Yom Kippur. Okay? The other 3 days that we do it are Passover, Shavuot, and Shemini Atzeret, which is the end of Sukkot. So if I asked you, if I was in a class, and I asked, what do those holidays or those festivals have in common? You'd all jump up and say, those are the pilgrimage festivals. That's right. Because that's when everybody got together, and you can do a holiday like Easter. You know, you can honor, not deify, not pray to, but honor.
I think we reached our 37 seconds. Have a nice day.
And if you notice, this kind of fits into a running theme with Judaism, that a lot of our rites, even the sacrifices, seem to mimic some of the things that pagans were doing, but of course it wasn't the same. Whereas they would, you know, in religions like Buddhism and Shintoism, their ancestors were like gods, right? We just honor them. The sacrifices, you know, we sacrifice animals, and now we don't even do that anymore. So it's a more humane way of adopting some of these customs to what might have been going on within that period of time. So that's pretty much Shemini Atzeret, a mystery holiday. You know, what does it signify? Think of it as the excuse me, the end of the high holidays. Excuse me. Because even though we are sealed in the book of life on Yom Kippur, there's sort of this grace period. And the grace period kind of ends on Shemini Atzeret. And in Simchat Torah is a separate holiday. It's a rabbinically mandated holiday. When we roll the Torah back, Sunday, even tomorrow night, actually, it's one of the only times we actually read the Torah in the evening. We'll read a few portions tomorrow night.
Thank you for calling Preferred Administrator. Please be aware this call may be monitored or recorded for quality purposes. Please listen carefully as our menu options have changed.
And then
for English, press 1. Para español, oprima 2.
We re-roll the scrolls, and we read the first chapter of Genesis along with
claims and claim-related customer assistance. Press 1. Cancellations,
and
press 2. Contracting processing, remittances, transfers, and all other customer assistance, press 3. Dealer supply orders, press 4.
108 on the top of the page by Hulu. Those are the three verses that end the Torah portion of Simchat Torah. So, any questions? Any comments about Shemini Atzeret, Simchat Torah?
So you're saying that in Israel they combine the two holidays, Shemini Atzeret and Simchat Torah?
Yes, done on the same day.
What was that name one more time?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. One moment, please.
Well, again, just remember, Simchat Torah is not a biblically mandated holiday or festival. It's rabbinical.
But on that day they'll also start and end, finish and start the Torah on that day.
Yes. Yes. Now, remember, this is really kind of almost a modern phenomenon. I believe it was
by any chance is this person
that started the
employee at
process
Service
of
Lawyers
reading the
Workers?
Torah, and there it was a 3-year cycle. So they'd started Genesis this year, and in 3 years they'd finished.
Okay, I'm having difficulty finding him in my directory. Please hold one moment while I get his number for you then.
Decided to do it over, you know, the course of the year, and then created Simchat Torah, joined the Torah. You know, now we do it now, the conservative annual cycle, first of this year, second of next year, last year, the following year, then we start over again. More traditional Jews that start the whole portion. Okay. Any other questions, comments?